Let's face it, most businesses are drowning in really boring content. But what if you could take that same content and turn it into a very interesting podcast that's being held by two people talking to one another? That's what I'm going to show you how to do today using NotebookLM. I'm Mark DeGrasse, founder of AI Branding Academy, and today we're talking about one of Google's products. I'm not a huge fan of Google, but NotebookLM is super useful and incredibly easy to use. Basically, you could upload reports, case studies, long-form documents, books, basically anything you want, and you could convert it into a very interesting podcast by two enthusiastic podcasters. Now, the podcasters are always the same voices, but most people have never heard this before. And I'm going to show you how to use it and basically take, in this case, my book called Always on Brand, and we're going to turn it into a podcast that's really easy to consume and gives people an idea of what the book's about so I could hopefully sell some more books. All right. So all you're going to do is go to notebooklm.google, and you're going to find this. It talks about it being a research assistant and doing all this kind of fun stuff. You could use it however you want. I'm going to show you how I used it. In this case, my son had a athletic symposium, and I actually recorded what it was about. And so I took that recording, I made a transcription, and then I upload the transcription into this tool. All you have to do is come over here and say add source, upload your source, you're good to go. Now it's going to give you a summary of what it is, and you could add notes and create a briefing document to say what's inside all this content. But you could also come over here and say audio overview, and you could basically make it into interactive conversation between two people. So if you say click and load conversation, just say load. And then it's going to go ahead and give you the conversation. So I'm going to share the one I did in the description. So if you want to check out what it sounds like, it's actually right here, and you can see it already produced it. But all it does is it sounds like these two people. In this case, I did use Midjourney to create a picture of these two people. It's in the style, the colors of my son's school, and then I just put it on a Vimeo video so I could share it. So go ahead and check that out to see how it works. But let's go ahead and create a new LM for my book. So we're going to say create new right here. And this is as easy as it gets. All you really need is the document. So I'm going to go ahead and find the document. All right, so I'm simply going to select the book. It uploads, and it can work with any document. Like I said, what I did before was I basically took a recording and I transcribed it. If you're wondering how I transcribed it, I use a tool called Descript AI. We'll cover that in another video. But all it's going to do is upload it, and then you can simply name it. So name it whatever you want. I'm going to call this the Always On. Oh, there you go. It already uploaded, and then it named itself, gave itself an icon, and created this little summary. Now all you're going to do is come over here and say deep dive conversation. You could customize it, and you can't really type very much. I think it's maybe like 100 characters. But if you wanted to say, describe, this conversation is about how AI will change business and how branding will be a core component of keeping your business relevant in the new marketplace. There you go. Then we're going to say generate, and that's it. Now it's going to take a few minutes. I think it takes between like 2 and 5 minutes. But then it comes out with a description of basically my book and then the topic that I just said. And you could give it more, variation if you want. You could say they're angry or they're happy, or you could describe kind of how they should be behaving in regards to discussing the topic. But that's pretty much it. Just try it out and you'll be amazed. You don't actually have to say anything. If you want to really test the system and see what it does, just say generate and give it no instructions. And then it'll essentially just give you a summary of what the document was about or what the multiple documents were about. So that's pretty much it. All right, so there you have it. This is a really useful tool if you're tired of sending out documents that maybe you think nobody reads. Even long form video could be kind of tedious for people to consume. But podcasts, everybody's getting really or used to listening to them all the time. So they can listen to them in their car, especially if it's a longer document. That's a really good way to share it. And some people just listen to podcasts all day long of people talking. So it's just a really good, different way to get people to to consume content, especially kind of boring content that may be hard to share. So going to it next time, we're covering different apps every day at this point. We are going to touch back in on the AI that we've already talked about, but expect a few new tools coming up in the next few days.